Hi guys, it's Jenny here and I'm back with another YouTube video. So what inspired me to do this video is basically a couple of days ago I did this rainbow eyeshadow on myself, and oh my gosh, everywhere I walked around town, around London, I got so many compliments and I got so many people, even like my friends, asking me to do a tutorial. So for today I decided that I will do a tutorial on how I did that rainbow eyeshadow look. I'll post a picture right on here, right on the screen, so you guys can see what I mean. So I created this look by using 3 different eyeshadow palettes. Yes, 3. I literally had to dig into 3 different Jeffree Star eyeshadow palettes in order to create this rainbow look, and oh, was it a journey. So without any further ado, I'll prime my face, take over my glasses, and let's just get into doing the makeup, shall we? Okay, so I just primed my face using the Jeffree Star concealer in the shade C7, as I did in my first ever video. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out because it's my makeup routine. Okay, so as I was saying, I'm gonna do a rainbow eyeshadow look that I actually came up with myself, and oh my gosh, like, the fact that so many people really wanted to see me do like a tutorial for it really gets my heart happy, you know? Like, it really did make me happy that people recognized my eyeshadow, because no one ever does. Literally none of my friends ever do, apart from the one time that I did something extraordinary. They decided to compliment me. Okay, so for today, as I said, I'm going to be using 3 different Jeffree Star palettes, and here they are. So the first palette that we're going to be using is the Jawbreaker palette. We're also going to be using the Conspiracy palette, and lastly but not least, we're going to be using Blood Sugar. So these palettes are honestly amazing if you want to do a rainbow eyeshadow look, as they have literally every color in the rainbow that you can imagine, especially the Jawbreaker palette, because it is crazy pastel colors. We're not only going to be using this palette, as I said before, but this has such crazy variety of rainbow colors that you could, if you really wanted to, you could probably just do that look with this palette. But I like to step up my game, and I will be using the other 2 palettes as well. And as always, I'll be using my Morphe brushes because these are my holy grails. I love them so much. Okay, so for the first step, I literally always have to search up a picture of a rainbow, but since I've done it so many times now, I think I know how it goes. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue and purple, which is exactly the order that we're going to do. And yes, we're going to fit all of that on this one little eyelid. Okay, so the first step is obviously the red, and the red will go in the inner corner right here. We're going to be starting from the inner corner and then making our way out into the outer V. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Morphe M213 brush, which is this little guy right here. Honestly, it's like a little packer brush, and it really does pack the eyeshadow on really nicely, and you can get it really precisely, so that's why I really like to use it. So what we're going to do, we're going to dip into Blood Sugar, and what we're going to dip into is the shade, first of all, is the shade Cherry Soda, right down here. So I'm just going to get my brush, dip into Cherry Soda a couple of times. We don't want too much product, just enough so it coats the brush, but nothing too crazy. Even I'm going to get the excess off even, because again, we don't want it too crazy for now. So I'm going to turn this way so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. I'm just going to go into my inner corner, as I said, and I'm just going to close my eyes a little bit and pack the color into my inner corner. And once I put it in my inner corner, I'm just going to drag it out all the way up to my crease. Not too far in, because again, we do want to fit every other color of the rainbow as we go along. So that is how it should look like. You can see that I brought the red not too far in. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I grab my setting spray, because we're going to dig into a glitter color. So what I like to do, I like to get the excess off the brush so it's clean, And I like to just spray a couple of times. That is a trick that I learned from Jeffree himself, so thank you, Jeffree. But what we're going to do now is we're going to dig into this color blood sugar right here, which is very metallic. I'm literally going to dig in like once, because after you set the setting spray, the brush is coated. So I'm going to grab any excess off again, and I'm just going to lay this color on top of the red that I literally just put on to make it pop, if you will. And that is the red all complete. I know it looks crazy now, but believe me, once we finish the look, it will be amazing. Okay, so the next step is the orange. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to grab my Conspiracy palette, and I'm going to dig into Cheese Dust, which is this beautiful orange right here. Honestly, this shade is so pigmented. I still cannot get over how pigmented this whole palette is anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to dig into Cheese Dust a couple of times, and as you can see, it already coated the brush. I'm going to grab the excess off because I don't want the pigment too crazy onto my eyelids. So once again, I'm going to just, you know, when we put the red, I'm going to put the orange right next to the red, even a little bit on the red, so it blends all together. So I'm going to close my eyelids, and I'm just going to pack it a little bit onto where I put the red and then a little bit out, so it nicely blends together. You can of course grab any red, any orange eyeshadow that you have. I just really like using these three palettes because they are so pigmented, and Jeffree is my favourite beauty guru, so I just really like to follow him, and I really like to support him. Okay, so once we've got Cheese Dust onto our eyelids, we're going to switch palettes. We're going to move on to the Jawbreaker palette, which is right here, and we're going to dig into Orange Juice, which is that little metallic right here. I'm just going to spray this once again a couple of times to get a color to pop onto my eyelid. So I'm just going to dig into Orange Juice one time. Yeah, just once. I'm going to grab my blood sugar because the mirror on the Jawbreaker is kind of hard to hold as it is very, very heavy. So I'm going to pack this orange onto the orange that I just had to make it pop. I'm going to drag it into the red a little bit again, just to blend them together a little bit more. And I'm going to finish that off by going back into Cheese Dust, get the excess off once again, and I'm just going to go over those two shadows, the orange and the red, and just blend them together with Cheese Dust. Okay, so far we've got the red and the orange down. Next step is the yellow. Yellow for me is the hardest eyeshadow to put on, simply because you have to layer it, because it doesn't always show up the first time you do it, and it gets really frustrating. Just bear with me here once I switch between 2 palettes and 3 eyeshadows for this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get my M213 again, brush any excess of Cheese Dust, any of the orange that we just used, and I'm going to get my setting spray once again, spray it on the brush, and what I'm going to dig into is Food Videos, which is this neon, really bright yellow. The reason why I sprayed I sprayed it with my setting spray is because it really does get the eyeshadow to show up, and once you put it on the lid, you don't have to layer it as much afterwards. So obviously what I'm going to do is the same thing as I did with the orange. I'm going to just pack it next to the orange and a little bit in the orange so it blends together. I'm going to close my eyelid, and I like to line it up straight first so I can see where I'm going with it, and then what I like to do is just to drag it across my eyelid. So you probably noticed that the yellow isn't as visible as the other 2 colors, and that is exactly why we're going to switch into Jawbreaker, which has, as you can see, those 2 yellow eyeshadows right here. And first what we're going to do is go into the shade Wow twice, and without getting much excess off because we want the payoff to actually be good, we're just going to pack it onto the yellow line that we just did. Yeah, that's showing up a bit more. And for the last step, well, one before last, I'm going to dig into Lemon Drop, which is this shimmer gold right here, twice again, just a little bit. I'm not going to get any extra off of that because I didn't set it with my setting spray, so it won't be as crazy. And I'm just going to pack that onto the yellow that I just did. I like to open my eyelids, cut a little bit and look down so I can actually see the eyeshadow in full display as well. And to finish it off, just to give it some extra pigment, I'm going to go back into Conspiracy. I'm going to go back into food videos. I'm going to get excess off, just so we can really see the yellow. Okay, so our next color is the green color. Now, the green that I have is on the Jawbreaker palette called Sour, which is this green right here. Basically, this shadow is not as pigmented as I would like it to be on the lid. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my setting spray once again. I know, so much setting spray, but it really does get the pigment of the eyeshadow. So I'm just going to get my Jawbreaker palette. I'm going to dig into Sour twice to get the brush coated. As you can see, after the setting spray, the pigment is really showing up. So I'm going to get my Conspiracy palette once again. And without getting much excess off, just like maybe once, I'm going to do the same technique as I did for the orange and the yellow. I'm just going to close my eyelid and align the green with the yellow. Now, you have to be careful because you have to be really precise with the next three eyeshadows that we're about to do. So I'm going to close my eyelid and just look where I put the yellow, look at the end and just align the green first. I like to draw the outline of the eyeshadow first, just so I know what to do afterwards. And after I've done my line, I'm just going to drag it across my eyelid. And of course, you want to go into a bit into the yellow as well, just so you can blend them together, because we don't want that crazy streakiness. Okay, so after putting on the eyeshadow, I did realize that I need a little bit more of pigment. So I'm going to go back into Sour, going to get the pigment off a little bit, then I'm going to go back into and just do another layer. Okay, so I just did the green eyeshadow after doing 2 layers. It's starting to show up, which is good. So our next eyeshadow is the blue eyeshadow. And for that, I'm going to be using the Brain Freeze color from the Jawbreaker palette, which is this blue right here. And once again, actually for this eyeshadow, we don't need setting spray, simply because it is super pigmented. It is actually crazy how much goes on the brush. So I'm just going to dig into it twice, and you can already see how much pigment there's on the brush. So I'm just going to get a lot of pigment off because I don't want it to be too crazy. And going back with my Conspiracy palette, I'm just going to outline the blue where I want it to be and just drag it across my lid. Now you have to be careful not to get rid of the green, because whoa, the blue is showing up on camera. You have to be careful not to get rid of the green, as it is very easy to get rid of it. Okay, so once you have your blue eyeshadow on, now it's time for the final eyeshadow, which is the purple eyeshadow. And for this, I'm going to go back with Blood Sugar, and I'm going to go into the shade called Root Canal, which is this purple right here. And for this, I'm going to get my setting spray, because I've had this palette for a while, so the shadows are not as pigmented as they once were. However, they are still amazing. So I'm just going to dig into Root Canal a couple of times. As you can see, it's not coating the brush as much as I would like it to, but it is still good as it is. Now, what I like to do with the purple eyeshadow is to wing it out a little bit so it looks nice. If this doesn't work out for you, that's okay. It doesn't always work out for me anyway. So I try it, and even if I don't like it, we can just go back with concealer and just fix it out afterwards. So that's okay. We're just going to go with the purple and once again outline where you want it to be, and make sure that you try to wing it out as much as you can. If you can't, that's fine. as I said, I can't even do it sometimes, so it's okay. So once you have your wing, as you can see, I'm going to go back with root canal because I really like this colour to pop, and I really like it to be visible on the lid. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get what's left on the brush, and I'm going to just drag the purple down into my lower eyelid. Again, not too far, because we're going to go back with the same colours that we just used on the lower eyelid. So make sure that you do it so you have enough space for the other colours as well. Okay, so this is one eye half done, and now what we're going to do is the lower eyelids part, and this can get really tricky if you're not careful. So I'm going to go back into cheese dust first, which is the orange next to my red. Just a little bit of cheese dust, literally I just packed it in twice, and I'm just going to drag it across the red. You don't want to drag it too far out onto your eyelid, so it doesn't cover the other eyeshadow, so you have space. And after going back with that, I'm just going to go back into Jawbreaker, go into orange juice once again, pack it like once, just to get some glitter onto it. And I'm just going to not drag it out, just pack it on. And what I like to do, I like to get my finger, and I just like to blend them in together with my finger. Okay, so next we're going to go into food videos right here. Again, just pack it on a little bit and drag it next to the orange that we just did. I'm going to go back into Jawbreaker, and I'm going to get a bit of lemon pop, just for that little glitter little moment, you know, because I really do like my glitter. Again, I'm going to get my finger and I'm just going to blend them in. And now, I'm going to clean my brush. And now I'm going to go into the shade Sour once again. This time without the setting spray, because again, I don't want the shadow to be too crazy on the lower eyelid. And last but not least, I'm going to go back into Brain Freeze, which is this color right here, and just connect that to the purple that we just did. And then what I like to do is I'm going to get the Morphe E22 brush, which is this blending brush that I like to use, and I'm just going to rub it on my lower eyelids and onto the purple so it really blends together. And obviously the final step in that routine is the mascara. So again, I'm going to go back with my tried and true Lash Crown by Max Factor. So I'm just going to grab my Conspiracy palette, I'm going to look up, and I'm going to drag the mascara across my eyelashes. With this step, you have to be really careful not to get any mascara onto your eyelids, so it doesn't ruin your eyeshadow. Now onto my lower eyelashes. Okay, and that is one eye all complete. I hope you guys found one of the eyes really simple to do, because honestly it's not that hard. You can literally use any rainbow eyeshadow palette that you have, which I really do recommend because it looks super cute. I'm going to do the other eye off camera and then I will be right back. Okay, so I just did the other eye off camera, and as you can see, the payoff is really cute. It looks honestly amazing. Even from a distance, you can see it. So basically, this is one final step. We're going back into the M213 brush and back into Conspiracy. We're going to brighten up the inner corner a little bit with the shade Ranch, which is this white shade right here. So I'm going to dig into it like this, just so I can get a little bit of white on the tip. And just literally pack it on a little bit. Just tap it a couple of times, drag it up onto my eyelid, just so the inner corner can be a little bit bright. So that concludes the eyeshadow tutorial. You can obviously put setting spray so it stays throughout the whole day. I'm not going out today. I just decided to show this off because I got so many requests to do this eyeshadow look. So I'm just going to roll a montage of how it looks up close, since I know that this camera is not amazing, but roll the montage. that concludes this video. I hope that you guys really enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys. If you did enjoy it, please like, comment and subscribe, and follow me at Twitter and tweet me the photos that you guys recreate from this look, because honestly I would love to see you guys unleash your inner artist. My Twitter will be down in the description box below, so you guys can check it out. Tweet at me, show me pictures, tag me, do whatever, DM me. I will literally retweet every single one of you. But yeah, so that's it from me. Hope you guys having a good evening, day, night, whenever you see this, and until the next video, see you later.